body work, facials, acupressure, jewelry, malas, and most recently interior design for spas. And I think also just ways to display retail crystals and working within your space. So we're thrilled to have Cindy here today to share her presentation with you all and to be able to answer questions. So thank you, Cindy. And if you guys need anything, Megan's in the control room and accessible via chat. If you have a question or you have a tech problem, you can just sort of let us know. But otherwise, Cindy, take it away.
I'm so excited to be here today because we have just opened up some new lines with Rock Minerals and Design. I am the owner of the company and the educator, and all of our materials we have sourced through some German experts that are very, I would say, into crystal healing, gemstone healing, which was quite new to me 5 or 6 years ago. And then as I started to work with it, became very excited because of the vibrational energy that does come from stones. And when you use stones on the body with massage, reflexology, facials, acupressure, you have an additional energy that's added to the body work. So a massage becomes an extra spectacular massage. And then when you add different types of stones that might be very active or stones that might be very rejuvenating or even very calming, you're adding the energy to that work. So it's exceptional. And when we come into our room in the front, there's so many different gemstones in here that it just becomes exciting. So I want to show you the latest stuff, and this is our facial. This is the gemstone facial. And all these stones and this work that you see in front of you is used for the facial. And when we do the facial, we also work with the chest area and the arms. So I'm going to explain these different components. This is agate. Agate is a gemstone comb that's used on the scalp and is for easygoing energy. We also have a tuning fork series that is worked with our facial with the smoky quartz, which is your classic anti-stress stone. Smoky quartz really opens up the mandibular joint when it's used with the tuning fork, a 240 hertz fork. And also I will mention the other pieces that we have here. We have gemstone sand that's down in the eyepiece, that's right here. Oops, we got them going everywhere. And when you feel this, it's just beautiful, and it's used on the eyes. It's a gemstone sand that goes in here with a muslin cover. The clear quartz crystal, because clear quartz is a concave stone that's used on the eye area and the third eye crystal point. Clear quartz crystal really ramps up the energy of the stones it's being used with. These are hematite stones. And hematite is a good iron content for stimulating the eye area, and they're used down inside the joya pieces. So I have a rose quartz inside this, and they pop out real easily, and then you put the hematite stones in there. So the different pieces that are available here with the gemstone facial are amethyst, and that's peaceful, relaxing, and good for headaches. You have the rose quartz for circulation and rejuvenation. You have sodalite. Now I use this for throat inflammation, good for retaining water balance. It helps to lower fevers or lower blood pressure. So again, in the protocol series, all these are used in different places for different reasons. And this is moss agate, and we use that to loosen up chest congestion. Very pertinent for what's going on right now. And then these rose quartz pieces are used on the shoulder area. Smoky magnesite is good for muscle work and tension. So we use those in the joya pieces down the sides of the arm and on the hand massage. And this blue chalcedony is probably the strongest stone that's used in this series. And this is good for lymph drainage. And you actually pump the lymph node areas with this. Again, that protocol is going to be up on my website. And you can access that with a passcode of mine on the demonstrations area. And then we'll be adding a video very shortly on that as well. So that's the latest and the newest. What you see over here is the Regeneration Gemstone Massage series. And for some of you that know me, you know all the different sizes and shapes of stones that I have. And if you don't, regeneration stones consist of 3 different stones. They're unakite, they're ocean agate, And then you have the strongest stone in here is zoisite with ruby. This is a very strong, powerful stone. But together, this is regenerative, comforting, strengthening, restoring, healing. It comes with a gemstone oil that's infused with the same stones down in it. We also have gemstone poultices that we use. And we have a gemstone made with the same stones on a pendulum to find the energy imbalances in the body. And you'll always see our Joya collection being used. And these stones just pop out with a little sucker piece that I'll show you in a few minutes that pulls these stones out, so it's good for cleansing. This is a back bar piece that's used in Joya components in all of our massages, no matter whether you choose one of our streamlined groups or whether you choose your own stones that might be indigenous to your area. So let's show you the fun part over here. I'm so excited to show you all the different things that we do offer. And you want to start over here with the jewelry. You can see some of the pieces and the malas that we've created. These have the same stones that we use in your massage. So if you have an indigenous blend of stones that you want to use because you're in Northern California, then we can create a gemstone line that you can sell inside your boutique in the way of bracelets, malas, necklaces. And also what I've created is a line of door indicators that indicates in the spa that there's a gemstone massage in place or a gemstone facial now. We're so excited. All right, on this next shelf down here, you can see all the different sizes and all the different types of stones that we have for our Joya facial. And most of the stones are in there. So if you're just working with facials, that might be an added way to add different types of stones for different reasons. And on the bottom there, Rudy, you want to just come out so they can see that? You see an amethyst ruse. I have gemstone powder right here that you can use in a bath, or we also use that in our poultices. And we use that in our eye pillows. And then you see some gua sha pieces and different things. But I set this up so that you can see the possibilities of using big gemstone pieces for design. And we actually are doing some interior work, which we've done for a couple of years, but it's becoming more popular. And we go to the Tucson Gem Show, which they are doing part number 2 in April. And then we will be there again in the fall. So we can specifically shop for your spas at that time for the best prices. In between, we don't get the same prices. So let's start up here on the top. Where do you want to come up here? You'll see some of the different pendulums that I have available, all of them with different stones according to the gemstone therapy that you're using. And the next shelf down, you'll see the gemstone bath. Again, you have clear quartz crystal that's in powder. You just have some gemstone salts bath that you can use, a gem comb, a brush, and you can drop these packets right down into the water and the crystals will dissolve and the stones will stay. But when you put stones into water, remember there's an energy about that, so it changes the structure of the water. Down here on the third shelf, these are just to show you some of the displays of quartz that we can get, calcite and quartz and different pieces that can be your shelf. It can help your interior is what I'm trying to say there. And then you have turquoise stones. And you have one of my mala creations for your bracelets. Down on the bottom, you will see gemstone pieces for chakra work, what we call a small soapstone piece in all the different colors and the different energies of your chakras. And that's our gemstone oil line. You can use your own infused oil or anything you're using on your spa just as well. Oh, this gemstone oil though is beautiful, I'll have to tell you. So you want to start up at the top here, Rudy. These are just some clear quartz crystal points that you can use on your desk as paperweights, or you can use as a display piece in your spa. I have some different sizes and shapes. And here we just have some loose stones, some easy ways just to decorate your shelf. And there's a sign there that mentions the Gemstone Massage vibrational therapy. If you're doing that on your spa, you could sit that in different places on display to let people know that body massage, rituals, facials, reflexology, chakra balancing, all that can be done in your spa. These are clear quartz crystal bowls that we use for display. Here you have another calcite gemstone piece here. I love it because it's huge, it's big, it's easy. Can you see that, Megan? Are you seeing that on your end?
Yes, we're seeing it.
Okay. And this is a phenomenal piece. It stands probably about 10 inches high, and it's just put on an easy stand, and it really takes up space well and adds a lot of energy to your boutique. We have hematite stones here in the front. Remember, hematite's very strong. It's a very good blood circulator. And a piece of lepidolite that sits right next to it. Now, on this third compartment down here, I hope that he can really show you this, because amber is a phenomenal group. It's really not a stone. Amber is a tree resin, and all these different pieces are real light, but I purchased them very specifically so they can be used on joint massage. When you do amber around the joints, it loosens up the connective tissue around there and works on the pain. And this is a very strong massage used with amber. We use it with a tuning fork. It's a 126 Hertz tuning fork. And then I have eyepieces as well as reflexology pieces that I specifically purchased just for this amber massage. I just love amber. I can't say enough about it. I love it, because I've experienced what it does for you. And then we have an amber infused oil. This is a plain jojoba oil that I put right down into a VitaJewel container that does some work and puts the amber in those stones for us in the pod, so that we can have our own infused, amber infused oil. On the bottom, there's just some loose stones. So can we start down here, Rudy? Down here, what you're seeing is a group of stones that is used for the abdominal area. We use orange calcite to really loosen up those muscles in the abdomen.
Pick it up. Stones.
That's orange calcite. This is a mookaite jasper. And I like these big chunk stones because therapists can grip them really well and use those in the ab area. Also, blue chalcedony is used for the lymph. This is also more agate, mookaite jasper. They're so beautiful. So if the therapist likes to use more of a hand movement and circles, this is how we use that and how we educate on that. Those are moss agate that are used in the thoracic area.
Quick question. Is there anything
Yes.
that helps the pancreas, if I can say it correctly? Is there any stone that's like kind of geared to that area of your body?
The mookaite jasper, again, is that whole area within the abdomen. Yes, absolutely. Good question. Because boy, that area needs rejuvenating constantly. You don't want things to get stagnant anywhere in that abdominal area whatsoever. So anything that we can do to help that, and we can add that to our massage therapy, it's just a bonus. It's like eating a steak and then adding salt and pepper. Like if you want to eat a steak, you have to have salt and pepper, if you ask me. So that's the way I look at the gemstones being added to any massage therapy work that we would do. What you see here on this next shelf is just a line of the Joya rollers. And this is actually a wooden component. So you can use the gemstones in the wooden component and sell that in your spa because it's a better price point than the back bar stone piece. But you can see the different stones that go in and out of that roller. On this shelf here, I love this shelf because it's got an agate piece that's used for display. And I just think that looks sensational, and it's got a light behind it. And we just love to start decorating by using these different pieces. They're just beautiful and they add a lot of energy to the room. This shelf here shows a celestite piece that's being used for decoration. along with blue chalcedony as a mala. That's one of the strongest malas I know, that blue chalcedony. Again, working on that thoracic area. You see a gemstone comb and some gemstone poultices that are there in the back. And at the top, I've just displayed one of my men's malas on this particular piece of quartz crystal that's quite outstanding, I think. So
Calcite.
calcite, sorry about that, calcite.
Yeah, and this the table.
This is a table that can be used in small spas because we actually heat the stones in the oil. And all the different sizes and shapes. It's just a various group of different stones that we carry. So we do have different types, but sometimes people will ask me, well, can you get a certain type of stone in a reflexology piece? And most of the time the answer is yes, but many times it might be no, because these pieces are specifically made in Europe by specialists and sent over to us. I'm not sure of too many outlets that are in the United States that carry those type of stones. Now I have one cat and you never see her.
Oh,
So if you hear her, her name is Dixie. So,
I love cats.
yeah.
We have a few questions.
It's just one, you would never see her if I wanted to. And then of course she's here. So let me just stand back and get some of your comments or concerns or be able to answer your questions about it, or what we carry.
Yeah, so there's two questions about, do you offer training or do you offer classes about how to use
Absolutely.
crystals?
Absolutely. Before the pandemic came, I was traveling a lot, getting on to different spa properties and educating those people. Once that happened, it took a couple months to realize that this was not going to go away, and that was sometime last summer. So we started to reposition ourselves and put a lot more onto our website. So what we're doing now is we're adding the protocols with a written step-by-step protocol, very detailed, anywhere from 10 to 15, 20 pages long, so that these spas can learn it themselves that way. And then we're adding the video on top of that, a short video of different clips online. That is all supposed to be completed, if all goes well, by May 1st. I'm gonna stretch that to May 1st. So then if a spa takes us on, I can do all my training from my website and then do a Q&A live like we're doing with you today on a Zoom to answer their specific questions. Behind you in the studio over here, we have a complete massage table. So I could do all of that with you and answer your questions from here. And it's much more time effective for all the people that are involved. Usually when a spa has 20 or 30 massage therapists, like I think in some of the places I was on in Arizona, there might be 5 to 8, just a few percentages of them that are really good with stones. They get a feel for the stones, they can feel the energy, they understand, they get it. And I would work with those people to do your gemstone therapy work. So we can do that any way you want to, but I can get you educated, yes.
Awesome. This is from Christina. I might ask this question wrong, but she's asking, where will the protocols be available? She already infuses a gemstone heat therapy mat in her massages, yet wants to offer a high vibe massage. Is there any suggestions for that?
Come back to the beginning part, because I think that you're talking about education being online, right? Where she would get.
Maybe the
where's on our website?
Where on our website? If you'll go over to experiences and resources, there is an area that's going to be on there tomorrow called demonstrations. And I'm going to add live clip to the demonstrations. It will be passcoded, but all you got to do is reach out to me and say, hey, Cindy, I'd like to look at it. You don't need to be a client or anything, and I'll just send you with that passcode to exactly where you want to go. If you access my website, there's a lot on there, and it's pretty easy to find it if you'll work around on it. It says Gemstone Therapy Area, and it goes into reflexology and acupressure and so forth. And the passcode is Rock On 17. I said it live. It's Rock On 17. So if you're getting stuck and you want to look up something, guess I just shared it. It's Rock On 17. Rock On.
Rock on. I love the name.
Rock On.
Capital R. Right?
On the website, and you might have just said this, but Is there a breakdown of information as far as all the types of stones and what each one does? Like a description of each?
There is. It's over underneath resources. And all you got to do is click resources and it should open up and it starts to tell you the stones and each one of their energies. Absolutely. Great question. If you're there, what's so funny about websites is if you're there, you can see it, you can go there. And so over here, I'm going, yeah, where? It is, yeah, it's underneath there. Yeah.
For someone beginning their gemstone collection, what would be your recommendation for the best energetic stone and the best way to use it?
Ooh, I'd have to say our anti-stress, and I'll tell you why. Because the anti-stress collection has magnesite, which is good for those muscles. And it has aventurine, it's good for slowing down, and it has smoky quartz, which is really your classic anti-stress grouping. Now, if you just reached out and said, I want to work just with smoky quartz, I can start you just with smoky quartz. We can find pieces for reflexology work. We can find pieces for massage. We can even find pieces for your facial, because anything you do reflexology with, you can use for facial as well. So you could use one stone because of a certain reason, or you could use a collection. So remember, our streamline of 7 collections, each has 3 different stones in it, but those stones are either all for active or all for restorative and more relaxing. That's where the energies of the stones are different. All right, like that orange calcite and all that stuff for your abdominal area. All of those are very high energy stones. That red, orange, red jasper, mookaite jasper, a lot of different types of jasper is very energetic. And we get those in different size pieces so that different hands on different massage places can use those. And what I mean by different hands is some therapists have really small hands. Some therapists have larger hands. So they need stones that they can grip and hold. Yeah. Great question.
Anything under resources, I guess on the website, about specific stones for zodiac signs?
No. And it's because I don't know very much about zodiac signs. I work strictly with gemstones on the bodies and energies. And I know that they do cross into different fields, but some of those areas I don't work with.
How would you go about helping someone select which, if they're going to use it for display and not back bar? How would you go about?
Well, you do need some shelf talkers. If you're going to do any kind of gemstone work, I think you have to decide, all right, we're just going to open it up and do a whole lot because people can find their means. But when I go on to different properties, each of them has found a way to put it into an acrylic frame and list the stones that they're using on that property for different sources, for different reasons. Like if my new facial protocol is just the facial protocol. I can change out a few stones. And if you look at the paperwork on it, you do have some choices, but it is basically just this because those stones are used on the face, on the chest for opening up this area, and then on the arms for the muscle relaxation and some reflexology on your hands. So there's some specific reasons why I use those stones, that energy. Okay. All the collections have an energy behind them.
Any other questions? A little trickle in. We got a lot of, oh my God, wow, beautiful. I love the display.
I know it can visually be overwhelming. And the reason I say that is because you go, oh my gosh, where do I start? So when a spa reaches out to me and talks to me, Megan, I will start to ask them questions of where they want to go with their treatment. Are they going into body massage? Are they, they're opening this up into facials or reflexology? And that brings them down to some choices that are just right for their spa.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes they're just indigenous blends of that area.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do you we had a question if you worked in Mexico.
No. I don't like to, but I don't.
But they can, if they pick up the shipment.
If you pick up the shipment, you can, right? Yeah, we can work that out.
Can you purchase gemstone powders?
Gemstone powders are a hard one to come by. There is a place on Etsy that has a gemstone powder that's a decent price. Tend to get it in bulk, so it's a little bit different, and I'm creating some products with it. And I look for a clear quartz blend because I want that clear quartz so that it carries the energy of an active stone, or it carries an energy of a relaxing stone. There's a specific reason why I like the clear quartz. Although find that powder in small amounts on Etsy, just not large amounts. Does that answer that question?
Teresa, if it doesn't, you can follow up. She said yes.
Yeah, Teresa, reach out to me personally. This gemstone powder is, it's beautiful because it dissolves right into the water and can be used in a bath. You can just see it's so fine, right? So that's the crystal light that I use inside these, but this is in a permanent pillow, and then it has a cover on the outside of muslin that can be washed and then put back on. Yeah, there's a trick to putting your hands on a lot of these gemstone products. Truly there is.
Do you have a recommendation for someone to find out what stones are from their area so they can design their spa or use rocks that are?
Well, you can Google it. You can Google it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can Google indigenous stones to your area and find out. And so that starts the process. But it might give you stones that are not milled down as a tool. So what I mean by that is I might find, let's say marble. This happens to be marble. But I might find a stone. What I'm trying to say is you just can't find everything that you're looking for. So if the state or the area that you're in, you can find indigenous stones and find 6 to 10 options of stones that are within that area, then you have some choices, and you can definitely find 1 or 2, yes, that are in these groups. But to find gemstone pieces that are specifically used just for gem massage is the challenge. And that's why our certain groups that we find, we can source them, we know where we're getting them. And that's that. If somebody just says, I want you to be able to find XYZ calcite from Bulgaria, let's say, I probably wouldn't be able to find gemstone tools made in that. So does that answer your question? Sometimes I'm limited, sometimes I'm not. I'd like to think most of the time I'm not.
Who was that? Christina, you can let us know if it's not, you can follow up. A question back about the powders. Can you mix it with hydrosols?
You could mix it probably with anything that you need to mix it with. That happens to be an amethyst powder, and amethyst is a neutral stone, but it's very relaxing. Like I said, I like to use clear quartz most of the time because it'll carry the energy of any other stones I'm working with, and I don't like to mix up the energies too much. But I think you can use those powders with anything.
Very cool. Diane said she loves how transparent and honest you are, and so do I.
Is that Diane from Tucson?
Christy, yeah?
Yes. Yes, I would love to meet you.
We all love you, Cindy.
Yeah, well, Tucson's just a place. I mean, you've got Mirabal there, and we've been on that property and worked with some of those people, and you know, they're into stones down there. They're one area of the country that knows their stones, and they know why they know their stones.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kitty. Any other questions? Just feel free to.
Of all time. If you'll keep talking, though, I might be able to go over her.
Awesome. Any other questions? Let us know. Let's see what Christina is saying. Yes to the answers to their question. She lives in South Texas, Mexico border, and have clients that come over from Mexico, so she would love to come up. Would love to come up with a treatment that reflects the unique cultural mix down there.
Exactly. Exactly. That would be fun. That'd be a project to reach out to me too, and let's talk about it and see if we can go someplace with that. Do remember, when you work with us to either create a design for your spa or whatever, it can be 1 to 3 months out. And I've even worked with some spas for up to 6 months before we worked it into their budget and exactly what they were doing. So don't hesitate to reach out and start that verbal process of just getting some ideas out on paper. And then I keep notes on you, and I keep that going. And so as we can start to get those energies to collide going in the right area, we'll get it working for you if that can come into fruition.
Sorry, I'm just reading.
No, that's okay.
Michelle from Ritz-Carlton Dove Mountain Spa. She said she does gemstone rituals and
Yes.
healing.
Yes.
Gemstone loving for a long time.
Yes, and we've been on that property, and we've talked to you before. So I think it's the same crew. I love that property. It's beautiful. Y'all are all about the gemstones already. You're down there at Miraval, of course, Ritz-Carlton, Miraval, they all work off of each other, and Canyon. So those are the primary areas that their people really know stones. They really do. So I love to be down there with you guys. And right now, where it's warm.
What's the best
be
way
down
they can get in contact with you? Email?
Email or pick up the phone. I'm a real phone person, and my phone number is my cell is best, 720-635-6027. Again, that's 720-635-6027. Or send me a text, and we can create a time that would be good for both of us, so I can take some notes on what you might be looking at or what you're interested in. I would love to hear from you. I'm a real verbal connector. What I want to say to the Tucson group, we are going to be down for 2-something odd weeks in April for that part of the show. So we plan to do quite a bit of work down there. So I'll be in that area.
When's that show?
Tucson. The next part of the show is the first 2 weeks of April. I think it starts on the 8th and it goes through the 20th. And some of it's publicized, but some of the dealers are over here anyway, and it's not very publicized, but they're open and they're here. So we've got to go. Yeah.
Be smaller crowd, I guess. There will be a replay. I know some are asking that, so we'll have this recorded, and then by tomorrow we'll have it up on our website, and we will share it around.
Cindy Keske, Rock on Minerals and Design.
Yes. One more question. What is the best stone to use for lymphatic work?
Blue chalcedony. Blue chalcedony. Now, these blue stones that come in these shapes and sizes are the best ones used for those kind of areas. We have them in chunk stones like this. You also, moss agate loosens up the congestion, and that's part of that lymph area, and sodalite really moves congestion through that area. So think blue, a little bit of green, and you're going to be thinking on the right zone, but a blue chalcedony. Yeah. Great question, because that's big.
And amber stuck out to me because you said you love
amber. I like it because of joints. And I've experimented a lot with the amber. And I've used it down inside joint braces that I've used on my arms and on my hips at certain times. And I'll take these small pieces and put them right down into that. And I get flat pieces. And I use those inside my pieces. They're real light, like they feel like nothing. That's what's so nice about amber. These are just some big body pieces. Joints, think of amber as joint massage. Amber's hard to find with the right sizes, shapes, and so forth to use for body work. It's a little challenging. And that comes out of Mexico, a really good person, and then South America.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sydney. Oh, hold on. There's one more question. I want to make sure all the questions get in about amber. It's my understanding that amber necklaces are also used for pain when children are teething. How close to the pain point does it need to be? Yes, and yes.
Yes. There is a lot said about that, and I've heard a lot of information about it and how it does work. And that's to my extent. I've never had children, so I have not worked with that with children. Just worked with it on joints.
How close to the pain point, if you are pushing it on joints, does it have to be effective?
It doesn't. I actually, when you work with stones on the body, when you get into the vibration of the body, all you need to do is rub the stone. All right. So you don't have to press real hard. It's just more of a smooth rub, glide that over with a little bit of oil or without. You're gliding it over the skin, especially when you use these on the thoracic area for down the throat. Does that answer that question? Like when you use these, you do not need to press real hard. You can, but you only want to press as far as they're feeling a little bit of the tension or the pain, and then you release that and you start to work with it from there. Okay.
Now I want a massage.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
She said it does answer the question.
Perfect. But please don't hesitate to just reach out to me and then set up a time to ask your questions, because this is all very new to a lot of the United States, whereas people in Europe and different parts of the world have used gemstones for healing for a long time in a lot of different ways. Hence, gemstones are so big.
All right. Well, it's been fun having you on again, Cindy. And again, I put your
much.
number in the chat, so everybody has that. They have your website, rockonminerals.com.
And it's Cindy at Rock on Minerals and Design, Rock on Minerals with an S, AND design.com. And you can reach out on my email. Didn't mean to interrupt.
All good. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thanks.
And we'll see you Tuesday. We have another webinar with Universal Companies about marketing. So be sure to join us. Bye, Cindy. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.